LeBron versus MJ. Michael Jordan, to be exact. Michael Jordan versus LeBron. Who's the GOAT? The debate that's been going on since 2000. Let's say 2010. Let's put it 2010. Because LeBron was drafted in 2004. So, yeah, we're just trying to figure out who's the GOAT. Now, let's talk about MJ first, obviously. Michael Jordan, 6 NBA finals, 6 finals MVPs, 5-time MVP of the league, uh, three-time NBA All Star MVP, of course, 10-time All NBA First Team, 9 All Defensive First Teams, Defensive Player of the Year in 1988, 10-time NBA scoring champion, 3 times steals leader, uh, also 2 time slam dunk champion. Michael Jordan on the court, feared, um, great player, great scorer, great defender. Didn't guard the best player, but he was a great defender. I do gotta throw that out there because he didn't guard the best player, but he was a great defender. I'm not gonna say he's an average defender or a lackluster defender. He was a great defender. Um, uh, Great mid range shooter. Um, Great free throw shooter. Just when he hit the court, you just knew that you were in for a dogfight every time. And don't give MJ a reason to play serious. You give him a reason. You give him any reason to play serious. You know you in for a dogfight for sure. Um, According to his teammates, he was a guy you didn't want to upset. If you didn't love the game of basketball, you couldn't be around him. If you couldn't take what he said in practice, you couldn't be on the court. Because if you can't take pressure from me, how are you going to take it in the playoffs when we're going up against Detroit and Indiana and the rest of these guys? If you show fear and if you show upset like towards me in the game, you're going to be just as worse. So to him, it was okay. If I push you guys and you guys stand your ground, then that means I can be with you on the court. But if you're gonna bitch and complain all the time, then I know you can't be with me on the court. Now, to some people, that's like, damn, like, why would you put up with that? Some other people, it's like, okay, cool. You want me to be strong? You want me to fight on the court? Let's do it. Fuck it. I ain't afraid of you. I ain't afraid of none of these niggas. Let's go out here and win. You know. To some people, that's motivation. To some people, that's some shit like, okay, cool. I can deal with this. This ain't nothing. This is nothing. This is MJ every day in practice. On the court, this ain't nothing. You're nobody. I only got to deal with this for a whole series. I deal with this motherfucker every day. You're nothing. So 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 in that fashion, I understand it. I agree with it. MJ on the court, man, was just unbelievable. Above the rim, just you had to throw 3 or 4 guys at him. Otherwise, he's gonna score regardless. You know what I'm saying? MJ was an icon for sure. He was an icon for sure in the NBA. Like you could anytime you're going to Chicago, you already know, damn, I gotta play MJ today. You know, your head got to be on the swivel. You got to be right there. You got to be, even putting your best defenders on him. Sometimes you already know he's gonna get 30 plus. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan is the greatest player of the '90s for sure the greatest player of the '90s. Obviously drafted in 1984. He didn't develop until honestly, if it weren't for the Detroit Pistons, we probably would have just got, just a regular, Michael Jordan. But after putting him through the ringer, making him fight and claw for everything, now we got the MJ that's like, okay, cool. I don't give a fuck what you throw at me. I'm gonna win. Doesn't matter. He's always been a, I'm gonna win type of guy. But after playing Detroit, after being through that dogfight, he was like, okay, yeah, anything is possible. Even though he said outside of Detroit, the Indiana Pacers was probably the toughest team he had to go up against because they were young, they were hungry. So Detroit, granted, they were young too at that time, but they gotten older and MJ developed more. Scottie Pippen came into his own, so you already know after that, you could do no wrong. The one thing I hate that they did for Jordan's career was the gambling. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, if you watch The Last Dance, you know about the gambling situation. Why are people upset that this man is gambling his own money? like it's his money. You have a gambling addiction, nigga. I got millions of dollars. Like, this is not an addiction. I'm gambling thousands, and I have millions. Like, it's his money. He should be able to do whatever he wants to do with his money. You know what I'm saying? That was my only issue with how they treat him. And then on top of that, when his dad passed away, they blamed it on his gambling addiction. Like, that was a low blow. I ain't gonna lie. That's fucked up. That was fucked up for the media to do. And if I was him, I would have left the NBA too. I ain't gonna lie. I would have left the NBA as well. I would have like, yeah, I'm out. I'm good. I'm cool. Y'all don't fuck with me no way. I can, like, y'all hate me because I'm winning. And that's the thing. Like, people hate when you succeed. People hate when when you elevate to a better point in your career and all you do is win. A lot of people are gonna hate you. You know what I'm saying? When they see you succeeding and going crazy, damn, I hate this motherfucker. You're gambling. That's what killed your dad. Like, come on, bro. Don't say that. Don't do that. Now, when he went to play baseball and everything, the Chicago Bulls were still a great team. They were a great team. They just didn't have that extra incentive to get them over the hump. You know what I'm saying? But they still was a great team. Scottie Pippen was still a great player. They just didn't have that extra incentive to get them past certain other teams. They still made it to the playoffs, and just was a bad foul call. You know, against the Knicks, which led them to going up against the Houston Rockets and everything, and then you get the Houston Rockets winning back-to-back titles, which was pretty good for them. He came back and won three again. When he came back, he wasn't the same guy, so he had to get back into the MJ mode pretty much and everything. So, granted, he's three-peated twice. 2 3-peats is crazy to do. That's one feat that will never be touched again. Touched again for sure. 2 3-peats, insane. Hard to beat, hard to top, But now we're gonna go into LeBron. LeBron James, great player. He's honestly one of my favorite players right now. Obviously, I love LeBron, bro. LeBron has been my favorite player since 2009. At first I never really paid attention to him, because I was more, I was still rocking with Shaq at this time. I ain't gonna lie, I was still rocking with Shaq, because Shaq was my dude for real. Like, Shaquille O'Neal is obviously, one of the most dominant big men of all time. But I always had to, rock with Shaq, because I was a Lakers fan, so like Shaq and Kobe, like crazy work. But LeBron started becoming my favorite player in like 2009. I just loved his gameplay for real. I loved his game style, and like the way he played, it was more along the lines of, making the team overall, better. You know what I'm saying? Like, he always, was trying to find a way to get other guys involved. And I think that's what some people don't like about him sometimes. In the early part of his career, it was like, how can you be the chosen one? And, if you always, if you always passing the ball and, all of these things and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a lot of dumb things going on, and I kind of hated it. I kind of hated what people gave him. But, yeah, LeBron, 4-time NBA champion, 4-time MVP, 4-time MVP of the league, 21 All-Star games, about to be 22, obviously. 3-time NBA All-Star MVP, 13 All-NBA first teams, 5 All NBA first defensive teams, uh, Rookie of the Year, 1-time scoring champion, 1-time assist leader. You know, he's a great overall player. When you ask for a complete basketball player, you're going to talk about LeBron James because he can do it all. He can rebound, he can defend, he can pass, he can score, he can do it all. You know, and that's what makes that. That's the type of player that I like to see. You know what I'm saying? The type of player that can do it all. Kind of like Scottie Pippen, kind of like Magic Johnson, can do everything on the court and is speared on both ends of the court. You know what I'm saying? LeBron is he's a robot, honestly. You know, I remember like I seen all these stories. You know, MJ has stories too. You know about how people trash talk him and everything like that. You know, he'll just that'll give him the extra incentive. LeBron is more of a calculated player. You know, but if you trash talk him on the court, he's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna let my play do the talking. You know, he'll tell people real quick like humble yourself. Be cool because I'm coming. Dylan. I said Dylan. Uh, um, fuck, what is his name? Damn, I forgot his name. It's crazy. I forgot his name. But Buddy from the Memphis Grizzlies. I know Dylan is probably his last name. I just I can't think of that dude's name. That's how quick he was in the NBA. But you obviously see him trying to poke LeBron in the playoffs, and you saw LeBron was like, okay, you did all that last game. I was like, I want to see you this game. I'm on your ass this game. And you see he was just like, oh shit, like damn, I pissed him off. And you saw LeBron just go quickly and just go into attack mode, And people say LeBron doesn't have that killer instinct, but give him a reason, just like MJ, just give him a reason, and he'll go full throttle as well, And how can you not like a player, who plays the way he does? I ask, like, a lot of my friends say, oh, MJ's the GOAT, and I was just like, okay, who would you rather have on your team? Would you rather have MJ? Would you rather have LeBron? And most of them said LeBron. Most of them said LeBron. I was like, why? And they was like, well, he's a team player. I said, so wait a minute. If MJ is the GOAT, why would you not want him on your team? You're gonna win, right? But they was like, nah, man. I want to score too. I'm like, okay, that makes sense, huh? Like me, I love Michael Jordan. I don't hate Michael Jordan. I don't think he's a bad player. None of that. I love Michael Jordan. I got a Michael Jordan jersey. I got Jordans. I got LeBrons too. I got both of them. I ain't gonna say I got one more than the other. I got both. I ain't tripping. But I like both players. Both players had a different style, and they elevated the game in different ways. LeBron, he's a computer, bro. Like like Iman Shumpert, when he did an interview with Vlad, he said, like, this man knows the other team's playbook better than anybody, the defensive schemes, the offensive schemes. If a player forgets where they're supposed to be, he's like, oh yeah, you're supposed to be over here. Another team was just like, wait, how the fuck you know that? And like, I forgot, I played for this team and I don't even know. But LeBron is just a computer, bro. Why would you not want someone on the court who can play chess? You know what I'm saying? Like he's like, okay, I know if I tell you to go over here, they're gonna react, and then this guy's gonna be open, so I can get the ball to him. I don't understand why people think that scoring is the end all be all in the NBA. You have to do everything. You can't just do one thing and assume that that's gonna get you to be the greatest. MJ didn't do one thing. LeBron doesn't do one thing. So why can't people just say LeBron is great? Now, some people are saying, he calls himself the self-proclaimed GOAT. And I'm like, okay, Muhammad Ali was a self-proclaimed GOAT. Did he not prove it? Mayweather calls himself the greatest. Did he not prove it? Lil Wayne calls himself the greatest rapper alive. Did he not prove it? It's, if you're in a field where you're great, why wouldn't you call yourself great? No one's gonna sit up here and be like, oh, well, I'm not that good, but you out here dropping 30 and 10. Like, bro, you're great. Know that you're great. Confidence is instilled in everyone who does something at an extreme pace. You're doing something better than anyone. You're going to call yourself great. You're not going to limit yourself because other people want to bring you down to where they are. How can you not like LeBron? How can you hate LeBron, honestly? A lot of people are saying, like, oh, he didn't win. Okay. He got swept. Okay. Jordan got swept. Kobe got swept. Shaq got swept. A lot, a lot of the greatest players in the NBA have been swept. Then people are saying, "Oh, well, in the finals, he didn't get swept. He didn't go to Game 7. He didn't do like okay." So like that's not an accolade. That's not an accolade. Don't move the goalpost when people are making an excuse or I didn't mean to say excuse. When people are making a point about LeBron, don't move the goalpost just because it's Jordan or just because you don't want to agree with it. Agree with it. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. A lot of people were saying that Magic was better than Jordan. A lot of people said Larry Bird was better than Jordan. Larry Bird and Magic Johnson were the players of the 80s. Jordan and Scotty were the players of the 90s. In the 2000s, you had Shaq and Kobe. 2010, you had LeBron and KD. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be two great players or more. We got five great players in every single era. You know what I'm saying? But the two great players that go head to head, are those guys for real. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, right now it could be anybody. Right now it could be anybody. We don't have the same intensity that we have. You know what I'm saying? But if you're gonna compare LeBron and Jordan compared to what they do on the court, who does more on the court? If you're gonna compare accolades, we can compare those, but then it's not gonna matter. You know what I'm saying? Because if 6 rings, that's not the most that's ever been won by a player. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna compare who has more of this and more of that, like, does that really make you a great player? Because there's another player who has just as many of these as this player. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna say who's great, say what they do on the court that makes them great. You know what I mean? If we're gonna say that on the court MJ was a better scorer, I'll give you that. MJ was a great scorer, of course. Like, that man can score a will sometimes. LeBron, it's more of like, I don't want to force anything when I know I got guys open that can help me win the game. You know what I mean? That's what makes LeBron a great player on the court. That's somebody who I can build my team around because I know he's going to make guys better. MJ's going to make guys better too. MJ is going to put in the winning mentality to guys. LeBron's going to put in the whole we can win as a team type of guy. You know what I mean? Like, LeBron wants to win as a team. He doesn't say, "Oh, we won because of me. We won because of me." No player is going to say that. Every player is going to say we won as a team. LeBron's going to say we won as a team. I remember in the 2020 NBA Finals against Miami Heat, LeBron drove 3 people. 3 people met him at the rim, and he passed to Danny Green. Everyone on Twitter, on Facebook was saying, "Man, Jordan would have took it. Jordan would have took that." But see, that's what I'm saying. LeBron plays the game the right way. If you see an open man, you get him the ball. Jordan has done that too. Jordan was like, "Yo, I'm a dish. When they draw a dope to him, I'm gonna hit this man wide open, and he's gonna make the shot." Jordan has done that too. But any other time, he's gonna take the shot, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with taking the shot. It's nothing wrong with taking the final shot. It's nothing wrong with putting the game on your back. You know what I mean? But this is what makes me like LeBron more, is because he's a team player. I like team players. I like people who make the team better. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to be aggressive, and that's what I wish that LeBron would do more, is be more aggressive sometimes. Like, sometimes he don't have to pass it, but he does anyway. It's just his mentality. That's okay. But sometimes I wish LeBron would take over. So it'd be some games where he needs to take over and he just doesn't. Probably because he's more like, okay, like, I just know someone's open. Let me try to get them the ball. You know, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? To me, LeBron is the GOAT of this era, and Jordan is the GOAT of the '90s for sure. No question about it. I'm not gonna say LeBron is better than MJ. I'm not gonna say MJ is better than LeBron. They're both great players, and I'm standing on that. I've been done arguing this conversation for the longest. But like I said, if I had to pick one or the other to be on my team, I'm putting LeBron on my team. It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, in the comments, just let me know who's your favorite player, or who you think the GOAT is. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, go debate, MJ and LeBron. Let's go.